Hello. So we're going to be turning in the final project today, and that is what my video is on. The choice that I picked to talk about today is patient choice. I'm going to be talking about the advantage, disadvantage of choosing a medical provider. So I'm going to go ahead and just So, patient choice of medical providers is believed to be determined by the interaction between the features of medical provider and the patient. In a real sense, most of the patients who opt to decide who offer the medical service seeks to obtain high quality, reduced costs. However, it is important to mention that most patients lack information regarding the choice of medical providers. Most of them cannot and do not make a rational choice of their medical providers. As a result, the choice of choosing medical providers in most cases is determined by the physician characteristics as compared to others who treat the same condition. Studies have examined how a patient's choice of medical care provider is influenced by racial, ethnic, and disparity. One can argue that factors behind the patient choice of medical providers are as many as patients themselves. So that was, the beginning of what I'm going to be talking about. I felt that it was important to talk about this topic because I have been on the other side as a family member. And I feel like, I know that the healthcare is kind of going down because a lot of healthcare professionals are in need, and we have all these people to care for and to treat, and because of it, we don't give the high quality service that is needed, or we don't inform our patients fully like we're supposed to, and I feel like that's not right. But again, it's, the healthcare professionals, they are bombarded and overpopulated with people. So the advantage of choosing a medical provider, patient's choice of medical providers impacts on the quality of services either directly or indirectly. Regarding this, researchers have examined studies that reveals how patients of choice and providers is associated with improved medical services. It is important to mention that the primary reason behind the choice is to seek a physician who will provide a high quality service to the patient's satisfaction. Researchers claim that most patients create threats to medical providers that they might potentially lose the patient if their services are not high quality. Regarding this, providers are aware of the need to provide high quality service as a way of retaining the loyalty of the patient. On the other hand, patients play a vital role as their feedback remains a significant driver of quality improvement. In this case, one can argue that patient choice and competition in the healthcare act as a model for service reform. Regarding this, researchers perceive competition as driving force behind the response to the medical care quality available in different hospitals. So some of the disadvantages of choosing a medical care provider. Researchers associated with the choice of care providers with long wait times. With that being said, sometimes, let's say there's a popular, one with high ratings, OBGYN. You have a town full of pregnant women, and everybody recommends that doctor. Therefore, you have all these women who want to go to that doctor because he has a good rep when there's 10 other doctors to go to. So it's like they're bombarding him with all these new clients, which causes the wait time, the long hours in the waiting room. Even if you have an appointment, there's times where I've been to a doctor's office and you're still waiting 2, 3, 4 hours, even when your appointment was set at 1 o'clock. Researchers claim that allowing patients to choose their medical providers has resulted in awaiting, I just explained that, high quality service. In situations where more doctors enter the busy network as a result of high number of patients who rely on them, the patients end up suffering. Scholars argue that there are some reported death cases as a result of long waiting queues for appointments. This I really agree with. One can therefore associate the increased cases of death waiting long queues as problem brought about by the patient's choice of medical providers. Again, someone says that this OBGYN is like you know, the best doctor in town. There's 10 other OBGYNs, but because, you know, of this doctor being so popular, this is the result of it. You know, let's say that this lady is having some type of preeclampsia and she doesn't get seen because there's 50 people in front of her. So that would be a disadvantage of some of patients choosing their own doctors. So like I said, talking about this, and I did cite, so this is my paper that I cited for what I'm talking about today. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of choosing a medical provider. So I felt like this was important because not everybody's, you know, has medical background and doesn't know the severity or, you know, the reasoning why it is important to kind of like listen to the healthcare professionals. And yes, we are short. There is a shortage on healthcare professionals all over. We're treating thousands and thousands of people. And I know that, you know, for example, Kaiser's one of them. They use machines. We talk through a screen, through a doctor, and it's not right. But again, what can we do? So this is my video. It's my final project. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.